Right, well, good morning. This morning we've convened a meeting of the Security Council to talk about the Black Sea Grain Initiative and Russia's withdrawal from it. Russia claims the initiative wasn't working, but it patently was, and we've seen nearly 33 million tonnes of grain exported through the deal, including, of course, the grain that the World Food Programme has been able to buy and then distribute on to Sudan, Somalia, the Horn of Africa. So it's hardly surprising that we heard Kenya say that this is a real stab in the back for the hungry and the poor in Africa, in the Horn of Africa, particularly as they face worse drought impacted by climate change. So that's a real humanitarian consequence of Russia's withdrawal from the grain deal. And I think we have to be clear too, we've all worked very hard indeed to make this work. The UK has worked through some general licenses, as has the US, in order to allow payments. And the UN, I think, has worked absolutely tirelessly to address Russia's concerns. And the point is, Russia was benefiting hugely from this deal. Russia's own food and grain exports are actually significantly increased. So again, the impact of Russia's war in Ukraine is being felt around the world, tragically. So we very much hope and we call on Russia to rejoin the deal. And I know that the UN, Ukraine and Turkey all stand ready to resume as soon as Russia can be persuaded. Of course, we call on Russia to end the war altogether, but for now, food should not be a weapon.
Ambassador, I may have missed the beginning, but is there an alternative, and does this deal have to be reworked if they come back, or will it have to be a new deal?
So this is a perfectly good deal, which has worked to export grain from Ukraine. So there is no reason to rewrite the deal. The best option would be for Russia to end the war, but while Russia's prosecuting the war and now most recently attacking ports, this is the deal that needs to work. There doesn't need to be another deal from the point of view of the UN, Ukraine and Turkey, and frankly not from Russia either, because they're benefiting from it.
Ambassador, two questions. Privately, it seems that Ukraine is floating the idea of another route, now that they control Snake Island, and a route to a NATO country, Romania. What is the UK's view on that?
So the point about the Ukraine deal is that it's allowed these 33 million tonnes to go across the Black Sea. Other routes automatically, first of all, put up the cost of grain. So if you go via Romania, for example, or if you go on the land routes and the canals, it can't take as much volume of grain and the prices go up accordingly because of the transport costs. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that Romania is directly affected by Russia's threat that any shipping in the Black Sea could be a military target. And so using a Romanian port, I don't think is a solution to the problem. The point about the Black Sea grain deal was it protected the ships that had the humanitarian grain in that were going out of the Black Sea.
There is now a Ukrainian threat as well as a Russian threat to shipping that might be heading to Russia. Is the UK supportive of that decision by Ukraine, and are you not turning the whole of the Black Sea potentially into an active war zone?
Well, that's the last thing we want to do, and that was one of the important things that the Black Sea grain deal did, in addition to holding the grain price stable. So we don't support extending the war in this way, but I think it's completely understandable that Ukraine would think about retaliation if Russia chooses to continue the war into the Black Sea. Thank you.